Hey guys, welcome to another video on my channel Hairliciously. If you guys are new, please make sure to subscribe so that you guys are updated on my second hair transplant journey progress, as well as video topics covering current hair loss treatments. Visit my website at hairliciously.com to purchase your microneedling devices and dermal rollers, both of which are scientifically proven to stimulate hair growth, my low-level laser therapy cap, hair growth supplements, DHA Beckham shampoo and serum, and a few other products for those who are suffering from hair loss. So for today's video, I wanted to dive on the topic of David Beckham's hair loss. For those who don't know who David Beckham is, he is one of Britain's most iconic athletes as a soccer player whose name is also an elite global advertising brand. He's played for several teams including Manchester United, LA Galaxy, Real Madrid, and a few others before retiring in May of 2013 after a 20-year career. And throughout his career, not surprisingly, his hair has also set many men's hairstyle trends over the years, starting with the quiff hairstyle to the pompadour, the comb over, textured slick back, cornrows, and famously the shaved head and a man bun. His varying trendy hairstyles have kicked off a mass emancipation from hairy heads everywhere. And just as people have been extremely critical and observant on David Beckham's hairstyles, his noticeable hair loss over the years have also been highly gossiped about. Yesterday, there was an article that was from the UK's Daily Mail titled, "David Beckham sports drastically thinning locks during a shopping trip in the Cotswolds less than 2 years after rumored hair transplant." So apparently, the rumor is that he's had undergone a hair transplant in 2018 to save his famous locks. However, they did share some photos in the article of David Beckham, who is currently 45 years old, with thinning hair that is pretty apparent. You guys can see obvious signs of diffuse thinning all throughout his mid-scalp, hairline, and even the crown. They also show a shot of the back of his head, and he doesn't seem to have any type of strip surgery, so that kind of rules out an FUT for now. And based on his diffuse thinning, even on the back of his head, it doesn't look like he would be an ideal candidate for a hair transplant. Now, let me go and share with you guys another UK article from The Sun dated back in September 24th, 2018, which shows David Beckham with a full head of hair during an appearance at insurance company AIA in Hong Kong. Looking at this photo, it looks as if you put on some type of hair concealer or hair fibers and not a hair transplant, because exactly 17 days prior to his appearance in Hong Kong, David Beckham was seen soaking up the sun in Miami Beach while showing off what appeared to be drastically thinning locks and the hint of a bald patch on the back of his head. So here are some photos of him at the beach, and notice a significant diffuse thinning all throughout the scalp as well as his crown. There's a lot of good photos here that show the extent of his hair loss as the bright sunlight is shining straight through his scalp. So going from this severe diffuse thinning to a full head of hair at the appearance in Hong Kong 17 days later is, in my opinion, theoretically impossible with a hair transplant, as it would have to take at least 6 to 12 months to see increased density. And the latest tabloid from yesterday that shows David Beckham yet with thinning hair further proves, in my opinion, that he did not get a hair transplant. You simply can't just go from a severe diffuse thinning scalp to a full head of hair with no signs of thinning in a span of 17 days without the intervention of either a hair piece or hair fibers. And the fact that he went back to his thinning appearance confirms that whatever he did to his hair was not permanent, unlike a hair transplant, which is typically permanent for the most part, since the hair grafts are extracted from the back of the donor zone, which are resistant to DHT. As a diffuse thinner, I think David Beckham would have to require extensive amount of hair grafts to even achieve a full head of hair, since there's just so much coverage that would be needed, starting with the frontal hairline, his mid-scalp, and the crown. And given his current hair loss situation, I don't think that he would even be able to extract that many grafts from the back of his scalp unless he opted for body hairs, because he does seem to have a good amount of beard hair for possible body hair transplantation, but he doesn't seem to have much body hair. So I would guess that most of it would have to come either from his scalp or from his beard. And the crazy thing is that back in 2012, he did state that he doesn't like the idea of getting a hair transplant, but that there is nothing wrong with doing so. He just stated that he personally wouldn't do it, and that if he did see signs of balding, he's just going to go ahead and shave it off. So that's what he said in 2012. But that obviously wasn't the case, because we can clearly see that he is still suffering from androgenetic alopecia, as well as his father, who is also clearly bald. But he still hasn't shaved off his head like he said he would in 2012. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just shows how even the richest of people that are still afflicted with hair loss are still trying to hold on to their hair. And since he is still trying to hold on to his hair, there's also the possibility that, we can't rule out a potential hair transplant or two that he's had. And it's possible that he might have had, 2 small FU procedures features, but given that his hair loss from 2018 to 2020 are relatively similar, I don't think that he's had any type of work done, because normally with a hair transplant, I would assume that he would have gotten the hairline fixed as well as in addition to, the mid scalp and the crown. But based on the photos that we've seen previously with him with diffuse thinning, there doesn't seem to be much contrast in density to the hairline, because normally the hairline would look a little bit more dense and thick and darker, but that doesn't seem to be the case for David Beckham, because his mid scalp and the crown, everything looks diffuse as far as thinning, but there's no as far as density is concerned, they all seem to be relatively uniform. Now his hairline is intact, although he does have thinning all throughout his scalp, so there's a possibility that he might be on some type of 5-alpha reductase inhibitor or hair loss treatment, but since he hasn't said anything, there's no information as far as what he's taking or if he's even taking anything. But even overall with David Beckham balding, he has extremely good facial features, a good head shape to rock the the shaved head look, and he's also got money in the bank, so I think he has really nothing to worry about. So in conclusion, my final verdict is, in my opinion, since I don't know him personally, that he's been using hair fibers to beef up his density, since whatever that he was doing was not permanent in terms of making his hair look thicker, and his hairline over the years hasn't really seemed to have changed drastically to the point where it would be obvious that he would have had a hair transplant. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think David Beckham has done or hasn't done to his hair. If you guys have any other celebrities that you guys want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Take care.